So I know I complain about this show a lot, but along with episode 1, this week's episode 5, was definitely my favorite. It wasn't just about Maddie running about the school trying to solve things. She and Wally really opened up to one another about how they cope and the relationship with their parents. This was actually a really good episode. Anyway, onto the recap. Claire is furiously, nervously texting Mr. Anderson while sitting outside of his house. Remember last episode, Maddie and Cy called her from his cell phone, and he had been taken down to the station for possible uniform fund embezzlement. This episode is the homecoming episode, and the Spirit Kids are participating by making some decorations for the homecoming game. Maddie and Cy are watching Claire kind of swan about the school on her homecoming queen campaign, and Simon asks her how they even became friends in the first place. What happened? We get a memory then of Maddie as a young girl, looking nervous as her mom was having an off day. She was 12 at the time and Claire was her neighbor. Claire's parents fought a lot. One day Claire came over because she got scared about the fighting and she had nowhere else to go. Maddie didn't allow her in the house. She couldn't help her because her own mother was having a bit of a meltdown, so she closed the door on Claire. Shortly thereafter, Claire moved in with her dad for a year and her mother married some rich man. When Claire came back, she was done with Maddie. Simon suggests that Claire might be holding on to that still, and that she might be out for revenge. So I get that Simon is just spitballing here, but I don't think that Claire's connected to the disappearance with Maddie. She has so much going on with swim team, being cheer captain, her homecoming campaign. She just seems like an overachiever. She's very ambitious. And for the most part, it seemed as though Maddie pretty much stayed out of her way. And actually the only way I feel like Claire might have lashed out at Maddie is if she saw Maddie as a threat, which she wasn't. I also kind of don't think that Claire would kill Maddie over a boy, over Xavier. But you know, stranger things have happened. I feel like the fact that her name keeps cropping up in some kind of connection with the disappearance of Maddie is more an unfortunate coincidence, mostly because she's connected to two people who were close with Maddie, Xavier and Mr. Anderson. Maddie's mother gets the news that Maddie's backpack has been found at a deserted house. Xavier's father thinks that someone is squatting there, and poor mother, she gets her hopes up thinking that it could be Maddie. Xavier, by the way, has been helping Maddie's mom. It looks like he's doing odd jobs around the garage. Maddie and Charlie go through Claire's handbag, but they don't see anything suspicious. We find out then that Mr. Anderson is on administrative leave. Xavier tells Simon that the place where they found Maddie's backpack is owned by Claire's stepfather. You know, the rich man, and the whole block is about to be torn down. Nicole and Xavier have been working together, but Simon wants none of it because he still doesn't trust Xavier fully. So the Spirit Club is busy making homecoming decorations, and Wally says that he died at the homecoming game, and his family still shows up for him every year, so he shows up for them. Simon gets a key to Mr. Anderson's classroom. Maddie's mom is all cleaned up. She goes to the school and gets some of Maddie's homework so that she doesn't fall behind. She proudly says to one of the teachers that Maddie is going to Northwestern University. Her mother says that she knows that she hasn't been really involved, but she really wants to be there for Maddie. Maddie meets Simon in Mr. Anderson's classroom and he shows her Claire's papers, her essays. She got straight A's for all of her papers, her book reports, even though she only appeared to read one book. Maddie considers leaving things be then, not digging any further. As things stand now, her mother is clean and she has hope that Maddie's coming home and she's sober and looking well for the first time in a long time. Maddie thinks that this might be her chance at having a life. In real life, whenever parents of missing children talk on the news, they actually say the opposite because there is very little closure there, but I loved that Maddie wanted to protect her mom. Claire goes to Mr. Anderson's house again. She wants to know what he told the cops. He says that he told the truth, that he took the money to pay off his dad's debt, and that's where he was the night of Maddie's disappearance, with his father. He doesn't quite give a straight answer when she asks if he said anything about her, but I'm guessing he didn't because Claire might have been visited by the police by now if they got wind of her involvement in any way. Xavier goes to the abandoned house after school. While he's there, he sees someone escape through the window. He's too late and it's too dark to see who it is though. Simon intercepts Xavier at his house and Xavier tells him about the shadowy figure. When Simon asks if it could have been Claire, Xavier says that it was too dark to tell. Mr. Martin is getting a little bit suspicious of Charlie and Maddie, or more like he's a bit concerned. They seem distracted lately. Charlie has been working on this letter that he wants to write to his old crush, and Maddie, well yeah, She's always occupied, and she's the only one who can talk to the living. Wally's mom is at the homecoming game, and he goes and he sits next to her, and this was really sweet. I also see something developing there between him and Maddie. Even if it's just friendship, I just really like this pairing a lot. I actually feel like it's one of the few genuine friendships that I can believe on the show. Wally admits that he played football for his mom and that she was the one who encouraged him to play. He didn't mind it and he was good at it, so he played, but he didn't love it. He says that he keeps going back to the game that killed him though, because there's a part of him that still wants to make his mother proud. Maddie sees her mom handing out flyers and she says that maybe her mom holding onto the hope that she'll come back one day is enough to keep her sober and going, but Wally gently reminds her that she's not coming back. Just then, Xavier, Simon and Nicole get a video text message, and it's of Nicole and Mr. Anderson. They're talking about getting caught. She knows that he stole the money, and she's blackmailing him, telling him that she needs to get an A. Wally is sitting next to his mother at the game, and he has this memory then of them at the game when he was still alive. He really undersold just how much his mom encouraged him to play. You see, at the time, the coach had told Wally to sit out part of the game so that he could rest his knee, and his mother was very unconcerned about it, telling Wally that being benched wouldn't get him scholarships, and if that coach knew what he was talking about, he'd be coaching pros and not high schoolers. She pushed him at the time to go to his coach and tell him that his knee was fine. So yeah, the worst kind of stage/sport parent. In the present day, Wally then finally takes his jersey off. There is a moment when Maddie's mother is right in front of her, and it's as though she can feel something or she's making some kind of realization. Obviously, she doesn't know that Maddie is there though. Simon shows Maddie the video and he tells her that if Claire thinks that Maddie took the video, that could give Claire motive. I don't know, Simon's pointing to an awful lot of people. Xavier, Mr. Anderson, Claire. Maddie decides then that her mom has to know that she's not coming home so that she can have a hope of moving on. Simon, with the help of Invisible Maddie, encourages Xavier to apologize to Claire and invite her to homecoming. Wally thanks Maddie and he says that he feels free. He tells her that he doesn't think he's ever met anyone like her before. He's never been able to talk to someone like he could talk with Maddie. He asks her to the dance then, as friends, but it's kind of clear that he has a bit of a crush. Then something odd happens. Nicole helps Maddie's mom into the car. I mean, that's not the odd thing. And she's about to put the boxes of missing persons flyers into the boot. She opens the boot and she looks around like really suspiciously, as though she doesn't want somebody to see. She puts the flyers in the boot and then she just closes it. That's the end of the scene. I watched the scene twice. I don't know what's going on here, but something is, right? Anyway, at the end of the episode, Maddie and Simon go into another underground room in the school. This means that someone died in there because they're able to communicate in this room. They find a crawl space there, and Simon says that he guesses this is how Claire must have dragged Maddie's body out of there. And that is episode 5 of School Spirit. I don't really know if they stuck the landing with that ending, but okay. This was overall a good episode, so that's nice. Anyway, yeah, if you've seen it, feel free to share your thoughts, and thank you for watching.